They sowed arrogance. They will reap emptiness. And you? You rise. They flaunted a new supply to spark jealousy. They paraded fake joy to stab your heart. They posted pictures so staged you could see the lighting grid. And still something in you wouldn't die. That something? Value. Identity. Destiny. They wanted to break you by replacing you. But you can't replace someone who was never a copy. Let's talk about the playbook. Devalue. Discard. Display. Hoover. Repeat. They devalued your every win. It's not that big a deal. They nitpicked your every flaw. Why are you like this? They downgraded your love to basic. Anyone can do that. But here's what they never said out loud. No one did it like you. No one held it like you. No one carried it like you. You weren't just present, you were covering. You weren't just loving, you were lifting. You weren't just giving, you were anchoring a soul that never learned how to stand. Replacement is an illusion. Let me say it plain, you cannot replace essence. You can only distract from it. A new body is not a new bond. A new face is not a new foundation. A new "we're so perfect" caption is not a covenant. What you gave was not content, it was core. What you brought was not noise, it was nourishment. What you offered was not hype, it was healing. And because they never learned to value what they were given, they believed they could leave the well and still never thirst. John 4:13-14. Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. You were living water to a desert that refused rain. They didn't stumble into cruelty, they planned it. They watched which words made you freeze. They tracked which silences made you chase. They switched from praise to punishment like flipping a light. They did temperament checks. If I flirt, will they fight or fold? If I vanish, will they beg or breathe? If I lie, will they challenge or collapse? This wasn't romance, it was research. You weren't a partner in their mind, you were a project. But projects end. People don't. Your life, untethered from their experiment, keeps moving. You didn't lose value when they left. Let me correct that lie right now. You don't become less diamond because a fool sold you at a yard sale. Price tags don't define gemstones, composition does. And your composition is rare. Patience under pressure. Integrity under insult. Mercy in the mouth of madness. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. The weapon formed was devaluation. The weapon fired was discard. The weapon failed was destiny, because God already said no. They didn't upgrade, they downgraded, and here's why. They traded depth for performance. Stability for spectacle. Covenant for chaos. Substance for supply. They didn't fall in love, they fell into habit. They didn't choose a soulmate, they chose an audience. And the show must go on until the lights cut off and the applause stops and the wardrobe racks are empty and they're left with themselves again. Spoiler, they hate being alone with the truth. Trauma has a time code. It stamps itself in your chest, your throat, your stomach. So when you see their new happiness, your nervous system surges. Was I the problem? Was I not enough? Am I easy to replace? Let me coach your body while I preach to your mind. Breathe in, I am not disposable. Breathe out, I am not a placeholder. Breathe in, what I gave was real. Breathe out, what they did was reveal. Because that's all this was, revelation. They revealed themselves. God let the mask slip so you could be free. Everything in their world is supply. Attention is supply. Conflict is supply. Silence is supply, if silence means you're still checking their page. But when your silence becomes sacred, when silence means no access, no views, no reaction, no response, that's when their engine stalls. Why? Because they were siphoning your spirit to fuel their fantasy. You cut the hose, now they must buy their own gas. Integrity, accountability, repentance, and grace, those prices never drop for counterfeit currency. Let's dismantle the myth. They've moved on, they don't think about me. Human nature doesn't work like that. Bonding leaves residue, smell, sound, habits, phrases, favorite meals, inside jokes, routines. They took your blueprint and tried to build a new house. But the blueprint has your signature lines. How you solved crises at 2 a.m., how you prayed over their panic, how you called the storm small and made it behave. They remember, even when they pretend not to, even when they laugh louder, even when they post harder. Memory is a mirror that won't lie for long. Those posts weren't for celebration, they were for you. Angles chosen for you. Captions crafted for you. Props purchased for you. The performance is a pressure valve. See, I'm fine, I'm better, but theater isn't therapy. And public applause can't heal private rot. Matthew 6:1, principle. Do it for show, lose the reward. They chose the show. You chose the work. Guess who sleeps better? Yes, they'll hoover. A text. A song. A random, "Hey, stranger, I've been thinking." No, they haven't changed. They're just low. Let me protect your future in one sentence. Don't let nostalgia negotiate with your boundaries. Because if you open that door, the old cycle returns with new speed. Love bomb. Rewrite. Rage. Rewrite again. And you're back on the ride you already survived. Proverbs 26:11. Returning to what made you sick will make you sicker. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering differently. It's when you recall the scene without reliving the suffocation. It's when you can say, that happened, it hurt, it taught me, it's over. Your nervous system relearns safety. Your mind relearns truth. Your spirit relearns joy. That's why your wins feel quieter now, because peace hums, it doesn't shout. That's why your smile feels honest, because you're not wearing it for anyone. Healing doesn't need an audience, it needs oxygen. Uniqueness isn't a slogan, it's structure. Your way of caring, custom. Your way of listening, rare. Your way of holding chaos steady, artisan work. You are not a role, you are a realm. You are not a task list, you are a temple. You are not a type, you are a tapestry. Psalm 139:14. Fearfully and wonderfully made. So when someone treats you like a spare part, it reveals their skill level, not your specs. You saw it in one glance, the downgrade. Not about looks, about light. Not about status, about steadiness. Not about money, about maturity. Your presence made storms shut up. Their presence makes storms show up. You kept the house, they keep the drama. You brought clarity, they bring clout chasing. You were the deep end of the pool, the new person is inflatable. Cute for a photo. Pops under pressure. They won't heal because healing requires surrender. Surrender exposes ego. Ego protects injury like its identity. So they patch feelings with faces, wounds with weddings, emptiness with events, loneliness with likes. Then the crash. Then the search. Then the cycle. Ecclesiastes 1, chasing wind. You don't belong in wind chase. You belong in root work. Release the comparison 1040. Stop scrolling their new life like a museum of your past. Close the exhibit. Shut the doors. Put the rope across the entrance and let the dust collect. Your life is not back there. Your future didn't get stolen, it got upgraded to a route they can't travel. God rerouted you on purpose, to spare your soul, to save your years, to redeem your name. Some exits are evacuations, and you won't know till you're breathing clean air again. You loved someone impossible to satisfy and still didn't lose your softness. That's a miracle. You gave grace without losing standards. That's a miracle. You survived hell. No half contact. No just checking. Block the breadcrumbs. Keep your apps clean, your days full, your nights guarded. Archive the evidence. Yourself why you're done. Tell your circle if they reach out, don't relay. Create ritual. Morning truth, midday move, evening release. Truth, midday move, evening release. Return to self. Food that fuels, sleep that restores, work that matters, joy that doesn't need permission. If a memory grabs your throat, here's a 90-second drill. Name it, I'm triggered by the fake happy post. Normalize it. My body remembers, that's okay. Neutralize it. This image is theater, not truth. Breathe box style, 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, repeat. Replace it. Say one sentence you know is true. I was a blessing they failed to steward. Recommit. No contact protects my peace. If they meant harm, God means healing. If they meant shame, God means testimonies. If they meant to bury you, God meant to plant you. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Here's the good, discernment. Here's the good, boundary, and you won't trade that vision for anyone's validation. They'll never say it publicly. They'll never caption it truthfully. But regret shouts in rooms with no audience. Your jokes, your prayers, your playlist, and the new person will never taste like you. Because the spice was character. The flavor was faithfulness. And both are slow cooked. What you require, effort that's consistent, language that's clean, apologies that act different. What you embody, calm power, gentle truth, playful joy, grounded worth.